Hi everyone, TARDIS here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Patrick Troughton story, The Ice Warriors. Now this is the first story to feature the title monster, The Ice Warriors, who will later appear again in 5 other stories. And yeah, well, it's 6 parts. 2 are missing, so they were reconstructed using animation. And I'll talk about the animation first. It's done by a different company than Cosgrove Paul, who did the Invasion animation. Now I haven't seen much of the other animations yet. I know they've animated. I know some companies have animated 10th Planet, Moonbase, and the Reign of Terror, and apparently they're going to be animating the Underwater Menace as well, except that's up in the air right now. No one knows what's happening with that DVD, but anyway, let's talk about the animation here. So, I personally prefer the animation in the Invasion a lot more over this. It's still good. I prefer this over telesnaps, I will say that. I prefer animation to telesnaps any day. I think telesnaps are quite a boring way to tell a story. At least with animation you've got some movement. But here it almost feels too simple and too much like a video game in a way. It doesn't have a lot of depth to it at all. The way the characters pick up objects with their hand and whatnot it looks very fake. And eating and whatnot, it has almost a video game quality to it, and personally I prefer the animation they used in the Invasion a lot more. Now I'm not sure, maybe if this works better in the Invasion, maybe it was a bit more difficult to do these ones, but ultimately the Invasion animation is better. Now the animation is not really something to do with the story, that's more to do with the DVD itself. So now that I've got that out of the way, let's get into the story of this. Basically it's supposed to be set in 3000 AD or somewhere around there. And I think the sequence at the start is quite nice, with the TARDIS landing on its side, and the Doctor, Victoria, and Jamie having to climb out and whatnot. I think that's very well done. Although technically they'd be on the ceiling, and I think letting go they'd probably slide down right to the bottom, but nevertheless, you know, looking at it, it's just that. Not looking into it too much, it's a very enjoyable sequence. So, yeah, there's that. Now, the icy landscape I think is very well achieved, especially the stuff done at Ealing on film, like the cave chase. I think the setting for that is very well done. The chase itself I'm not sure about, it feels fairly bland to me, but the setting itself is very well done and it looks very much like it's really ice and whatnot. So yeah, and then you've got the Brittanicus Base, which I think is fairly well achieved. You don't really get a long shot of the landscape or anything, so you don't really know where the setting is, because apparently from outside the Ice Warriors ship you can see Brittanicus Base, but I don't know. And yeah, there's all that stuff and whatnot. Now, I think it's interesting, this story, because it very much splits the Doctor, Victoria, and Jamie up. Because usually you have kind of like the Doctor and Victoria doing their thing, and then Jamie going off somewhere, or the Doctor and Jamie doing their own thing, and Victoria going off somewhere, or even Victoria and Jamie doing their own thing, and the Doctor going off somewhere. But here they all get split up for a long time. So in the first half there is a bit of the Doctor and Jamie and Victoria off on their own, and then towards the end it's Doctor and Victoria, Jamie on his own. But in the middle it's very much they're all split up. You kind of like got them all looking for each other and whatnot. I think that's interesting. You got, now running through this story is the idea of kind of like human intelligence and whatnot over computer intelligence and all that stuff. And to be honest, while it is worthy, it's kind of got an important message to it. It's very much a goal, and I don't know, I feel like it worked, but it was overdone too much. And then you got characters being rather inconsistent, like Clem, who's kind of like going on about the computer and whatnot. And you know, at some points he's kind of like, he starts this speech about how it can't do that because it's programmed to survive and whatnot. And he just it sounds like he's going to turn against the computer. And then he just turns around and goes, "We'll do as the computer says," and whatnot. And then at points, I forgot her name now, the Clint's female assistant's going on about how you can't trust the computer, it hasn't got the right facts and whatnot. And then later in the story, she's practically hugging it, going, "We put our faith in the great computer." And I'm thinking, what? It's very odd, I think, that bit. I mean, it could have been done better, because... And then you got Penley, who's kind of like... He's a bit like the Doctor, and they're both against using the computer and whatnot. And... yeah, I think in Doctor Who, especially the classic series, I don't think it's referenced at all in the new series. It's very much the Doctor's on about... In the classic series, it's very much the Doctor's against computers. You know, and I mean, he uses them when he has to, but he puts human intelligence, whatnot, and ingenuity above that. So, yeah, that's an interesting idea that I don't think was well enough realised in this story. I mean, it could have worked if it was in the first half of the story, then the second half focused entirely on the Ice Warriors. But because it's all the way throughout, it does kind of detract from the Ice Warriors a bit. Now, the Ice Warriors themselves, the classic series, I mean, this is the 60s, didn't always have the best costumes. And I'm afraid the Ice Warriors do suffer from that a lot. I think they're much better in the Seeds of Death than they are here. The Ice Warriors costumes are quite static, really, and yeah, while they're fine when they're in kind of like when they're still, when they start to move, you can kind of like see where all the joints are and whatnot. It feels very odd indeed. Now they do get better. This is probably their worst appearance. They get a lot better in the Seeds of Death, and I have not seen the Monster of Peladon or the Curse of Peladon, but you know, I think I have seen a couple of clips, and in that the Ice Warriors are alright. Cold War, the Ice Warrior costume is quite good, I think, in a way. It's almost too shiny for me, but the costume's alright. The story's meh, very much meh. But the costume itself is fine. They're a bit too shiny. So, yeah. The Ice Warriors here, they probably have the worst costumes, I'm afraid to say. So, overall thoughts on this story, I guess now we'll come to. I do like this story, I do. It's enjoyable. It's definitely one I can watch. However, it's not the best Patrick Troughton story by far. It may even be my least favourite that I've seen so far. Maybe tied with the Crotons, and I'm going to give it the same rating of the Crotons. I'm going to go a 6 out of 10. Don't know why I've got to say 9 out of 10. Yeah, 6 out of 10 definitely for this story. It's an enjoyable watch, but I think there are many better Patrick Troughton stories out there, and with the recent finds, there are even more better Patrick Troughton stories out there that you can watch. So, yeah, pick this up if you're a Patrick Troughton fan or an Ice Warrior fan. If not, I think there's some better stories out there for you to get. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Next week will be the review of the Invasion of Time. And, yeah, I'll see you all next week. Bye, everyone.